Hello, I'm Matt, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make an isometric drawing, as well as some of the tips and tricks on how to draw lines at angles that may not necessarily be obvious, as well as how to align dimensions properly to isometric lines. So this is the drawing that I'm going to be creating today, just to exemplify some of the theories in AutoCAD that I'm going to be discussing. Okay, so let's start a drawing. And right away, we're going to see that we have a rectangular grid, something that is not ideal for creating isometric drawings. So what you're going to want to do is press on your snap settings in the bottom. It's going to be an array of 10 squares or 9 squares on the bottom. And you're going to press on the little triangle that's next to that and press on snap settings. So for the snap type, the grid snap is going to be set to isometric. And it also makes it a lot easier to visualize isometric drawings when you display the dotted grid in 2D model space. So I'm just going to select that as well, so you could see dots instead of a grid. And okay, so now we're ready to start drawing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first construct the lines that I know how to make. So the 30, 100, and 50, as well as this line of 50 units, I know how to make all those. So I'm going to start off with making a line of 30 units at an angle of -30, since it's 30 degrees below the horizontal, right? Okay. So now I'm going to draw another line that's connected to that, and this one is 100 units. And since it's perpendicular to this line of 30 units, I'm going to draw it at 30 degrees above the horizontal. So it's 100 at an angle of 30. And the way that you type in an angle is you type the number that you want, how many units long you want the line, and you're going to type the less than sign, and that'll prompt you to type in the angle. And then we're going to draw 50 units, and that's going to be 90 degrees from the horizontal. So I'm just going to draw that. Okay. And I could also, from this intersection, I could also draw another line of 50 units at an angle of 90, and I could connect these two lines right there. Just zoom in so we could see it a little better. And okay. So now, your intuition might be telling you, oh, okay, if we draw a line that is perpendicular to this line right here, let's say 100 units, doesn't really matter how long, right? That would be at a 150-degree angle. So your intuition might be telling you, oh, since this angle right here is at a 30-degree angle, and this line is at 150 degrees, your intuition might just tell you, oh, why don't I just add 30 to 150 and draw a line at 180 degrees? So let's see how that would come out. As you can see, this line is horizontal, but if you look at the drawing, it's actually below horizontal. Like if you just drew like a regular horizontal line, like, so you could see this line is at a bit of an angle compared to that. So what you're actually going to want to do is create a triangle like so. And you're going to have to use a bit of trigonometry to be able to figure out how to draw this line. Okay. And we're going to call this line X, and we're going to call this line Y right here. And we know that this is a right triangle since this angle right here is perpendicular. So I'm just going to denote that with this. And okay, so from trigonometry, we know that sine equals opposite over hypotenuse, cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent equals opposite over adjacent, right? So if we kind of take that knowledge, we would be able to see that y is opposite from 30 degrees, right? Because here's 30, go straight across. That's opposite. And we know that this line right here on the bottom is going to be the hypotenuse, because the hypotenuse by definition is the line in the triangle that's opposite from the right angle. So by process of elimination, we know that x is our adjacent line. So if you have O opposite and A adjacent, we're going to have to use tangent, right? Because that's the one, that's the function that allows us to calculate the dimensions of a line using this rule. So since we have opposite and adjacent, we're going to use tan. Okay. So tangent equals opposite over hypotenuse, or opposite over adjacent. So that means tangent theta is going to be y over x, right? Because y is the opposite and x is the adjacent. So if we plug in our values, tangent of 30 is y over x. So pretty much what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to pick x to be an arbitrary value, right? So you could make x to be anything, but it's better to overestimate than underestimate. So I'm just going to make it to be 100 units. I'm going to want it to be perpendicular to this line right here, so I'm going to make it at 150 degrees. So if x is 100, and if we rearrange a little bit, we know that y is going to have to be 100 times tangent of 30 degrees. And if you put that in your calculator, you're going to get y equals 57.735026.919. Okay, and that's your y value. And we're going to want this to be just straight down, so we're going to draw it at negative 90 degrees. And then what we're going to have to do is just snap it there, back to the original point that we started at. Okay, so now we're going to have to copy this line, press enter, and then we have to choose a base point of, hold on a second, AutoCAD just froze on me. Come on. Ah, okay. Sorry about that. Base point right there, and we're just gonna put it right here on the other side of that rectangle because we know that this line is gonna have to be the same length as well. So then what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna draw a line right here from the bottom, and we're just gonna have to overshoot it. We're gonna have to draw it at a 90-degree angle. And so we have this side. We have this side done. And now what we're gonna have to do is draw a line at a 30-degree angle that will overshoot this line. So I'm gonna put it 110 units. Okay. Now all you have to do is just trim the excess with the trim command and then press the space bar. So you get rid of individual lines. And then get rid of this too. And boom, that's our drawing right there. And yeah, it looks how we want it to look. So now what we have to do is we're gonna have to apply these dimensions right here. So I'm gonna do the 50, the 100, and the 30. Okay, so I'm gonna go onto my dimensions layer. There is no dimensions layer, so I'll just leave it in the 0 layer for now. But if you were doing it in Klein's class, he would want you to do it in the dimensions layer. So I'll put dimension. And I'm just gonna press each line. And obviously the text is too small. So the way to remedy that would be typing dim style, modifying, and then I don't know. Let's try something bigger that what was preset already. So let's see how that works. Yeah, 2 units works pretty well. Okay, and so right away you notice when you make your dimension, it isn't really aligned the way that it should be. As you could see, this is kind of curved upward. This is kind of, parallel to this line right here. Like it doesn't really look proper. So the way that you would fix that is you're going to type in the dim edit command and you're going to press oblique. So I'm going to do the 30 unit line first. And it asks for an obliquing angle. So you could type in an angle, but the way that's usually a lot easier to do it is just to press the 2 points of the line that you want the dimension lines to be parallel to. So I'm going to press that and that. And now you could see it's exactly how I want it to look like. So dim edit, oblique. For this one, I want it to be parallel to this. I'm going to go from left to right each time. Because if you go right to left, it'll mess up. So oblique. And then the angle here would be these two. Okay, we're almost there. But the last step would be making the text at an angle as well. So you're gonna have to press dim T edit. So for 30, you just press on the dimension. You're gonna type A for angle. And then for this one, it's pretty much, whoops, sorry. You have to go left to right again. A, left to right, and then boom, look, it's aligned exactly how it should be. Dim T edit for our 100, type A, and then you're gonna just go left to right. That one's perfectly aligned. And once again, you go left to right, and then that's it. We now have our drawing exactly as it should be. Thanks for watching. Hope this helped out.